readers, I'm Annie. I have been doing some shopping this year. I was on a little bit of a book buying ban towards the end of last year, but that went straight out the window with all of the new releases and all of the fun books that I've been seeing. I am back on a book buying ban, but I thought we would go over everything that I have bought this year so far. I have 12 books. I see so many videos where people are like, here's the 100 books that I bought this week, and I'm like, I know that I don't have space like in the cart on the shelf, so I'm like, I better not buy that many. The cart is looking a little bit full at the moment. The shelf is looking a little bit full. This is not everything on my TBR cart. This is just the newest ones. So I kind of split them up into 3 groups. So we've got Romantasy, Romance, and Fantasy. So let's just start talking about the books because let's be honest, that's all we care about. First up, we have Feybound. Now this is one that I haven't really heard too much about, but I'm actually really excited because when you read the blurb, it gives like quite typical YA vibes. You've got these 2 young girls who are trying to make a better life for themselves and end up in the Feyland. This sounds so good. I have this hardback edition and it is just your standard red hardback with the gold, but we do have a super beautiful map on the inside. This just gets me so excited to read. I think the map really does a lot for me anyway, but even just like flicking through the first few pages, we've got multi-point of views, and it specifically says at the start of the chapter whose view we're getting it from, and I think it is just the 2 sisters, just like having a quick flick through. I can't really tell you like exactly what it is. It gives me all the right kind of vibes. I get the same vibes from this as I did when I first picked up ACOTAR. Yevon was born on the battlefield, lived on the battlefield, and one day she knew she'd die on the battlefield. As a warrior in the Elven army, Yevon has known nothing but violence her whole life. Her sister Lettel is trying to make a living as a diviner, seeking prophecies for a better future. When a fatal mistake leads to Yevon's exile from the Elven lands, both sisters are forced into the terrifying wilderness beyond their borders, where they encounter the impossible, the Fey Court. The Fae haven't been seen for a millennium, but now Yevon and Lettel are thrust into their seductive world, torn between their loyalty to each other and their elven homeland and their hearts. Next we have Unravel the Dusk, and this is the 2nd book and it follows on from Spin the Dawn, which I read at the very start of 2023 and I really loved it. Mulan inspired because we've got our main girly, Maya, M-A-I-A, Maya, who goes to the Emperor to basically compete to be his tailor. That's kind of book 1, and then she's got to make 3 legendary dresses for his about-to-be bride, and she ends up going on a quest to go and find the specific bits that she needs to make these legendary dresses with, I think he's kind of like the court magician, court sorcerer. They end up having a little bit of a romance, and at the end of it I was so sad that it was finished, and I was like, I just need more. I have finally managed to get round to getting the 2nd book. 3 magical gowns, 2 kingdoms on the brink of war, 1 chance to save them all. Maya Tamarin's journey to sew the dresses of the sun, the moon, and the stars has taken a grievous toll. She returns to a kingdom on the brink of war, while Edan, the boy she loves, is gone, perhaps forever. No sooner does she set foot in the Autumn Palace than she is forced to don the dresses of the sun and assume the place of the Emperor's bride-to-be. But the Emperor's rivals learn of her deception and there is hell to pay. Yet the war raging around Maya is nothing compared to the battle within. Ever since she was touched by the demon Bandur, she has been changing, losing control of her magic, her body, and her mind. It's only a matter of time before Maya loses herself completely, but until then she will stop at nothing to find Edan, protect her family, and bring lasting peace to her home. I am so excited. I loved Spin the Dawn. It was an amazing read. I loved every second of it. It was so exciting, and I'm really glad that there is another book in this world. Just the way that Spin the Dawn was written and Elizabeth's writing is just so amazing, and I'm really excited to get back to this world, get back to Mia and Edan and the characters and the magic and everything, and it's just like I'm so excited to read this one. Another sequel we have is Hellbent. This is the sequel to Ninth House, which I again really loved. I really enjoyed book 1. Dark academia, thriller, fantasy-esque. It's kind of a little bit of a mixing pot of a few different things, but I really, really loved Ninth House, and I was a little bit surprised that I loved it because I'm generally not sort of a thriller kind of fan. I'm not a mystery girly. I don't really enjoy stuff like that because I'm really bad at working out like who done it, but I really, really enjoyed it because it was a thriller, and you're like, yes, you could like try and work out kind of like what's going on, but also it was like a, if you just want to sit back, have a chill time, like that's fine too. We can just chill. I'm really excited to get back into this as well because from what I can remember, Ninth House kind of left off on a bit of a cliffhanger, and Darlington ended up kind of like essentially on the brink of death, right? And he was like in the realm of death, and she was trying to find him, and everyone was like super, super worried. And then there's this like whole mystery thing of like who put him there and like why is he there and this, that and the other. Wealth, power, murder, magic. Alex Stern is back, and the Ivy League is going straight to hell. Galaxy Alex Stern is determined to break Darlington out of hell, even if it endangers her future at Lethe and Yale. But Alex is playing with forces far beyond her control, and when faculty members begin to die off, she knows these aren't just accidents. Something deadly is at work in New Haven, and if Alex is going to survive, she'll have to reckon with the monsters of her past and darkness built into the university's very walls. I am so, so excited to get back into this. It was like very sort of like dark academia. There was a lot of sort of very different things in this that I really, really enjoyed, so I can't wait to dive back into this world. Let's move into some romantasy now. So this is something that I've recently sort of not like discovered as such, but I've recently been really, really falling back in love with. And it's this concept of, it's a romance book in a fantasy setting, and that to me is what romantasy truly, truly is. This is just a hill I'm gonna die on, is that they are two different things. And I'm really, really excited for these books especially. I think this is probably the stack that I'm quite possibly the most excited for. Starting off, we have The Fake Mate, and this one I'm really, really excited for. This one was one I just kind of ended up stumbling across, I think, on Bookstagram. It's a fake mate romance, and it's in this sort of like medical setting. I believe they're both doctors in a hospital, and they're both werewolves. That is pretty much all I know without reading the blurb. And I saw that on someone's Bookstagram reel and I was like, huh, add to cart. Fake mate or perfect date. Mackenzie hasn't had a successful date in months. She's only a year out of residency, and her grandmother's obsession with finding the perfect mate threatens to drive her barking mad. So it should be a small thing when she lies about meeting someone, until she blurts out the name of the last man that she would ever date. Noah, the big bad wolf of Denver General Taylor. Noah, interventional cardiologist and all-round grump, has spent his entire life hiding what he is, an unmated alpha. But when an anonymous tip brings everything to light, he's left with two choices: come clean to the board and risk his career, or find himself a mate. So when the chatty, overly friendly ER doctor asks him to be her fake boyfriend at the same day he's called to meet the board, it must be kismet, right? Mackenzie gets her grandmother off her back, and Noah gets the chance to prove he can continue to work without a real mate. It's a mutually beneficial business transaction, but when the fake mate act turns into very real friends with benefits arrangement, lines start to blur, and they quickly realise love is a whole different kind of animal. The fake dating trope is something that I've kind of really started to sort of come to love sort of in the last sort of 6 months, really, I think. And I am so, so excited for this. I haven't really read many medically based kind of books. I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna fall straight in love with this. Another sequel is A Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch, which follows on from A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon. I was obsessed with book 1, and I have zero doubt that I'm going to be obsessed with book 2. So we are following our best friend Claudia Cunnington, and we are also following the demon Astaroth, and I am really, really excited for this because Astaroth in book 1 is basically the big bad evil guy, and he is the whole reason that Ozroth is in the situation that he's in and is one of these kind of bargain demons. Claudia is Marielle's best friend. They've got this little like girl group going on, so we're working our way around the girl group, and I am so, so excited for this one. So Claudia's like very much very, very good at her magic, whereas Marielle was very much like she has like one thing she's good at, whereas Claudia seemed in book 1 to be a little bit more of like a jack of all trades. She's good at a lot of different things, but she is a fitness girly, so here she is in her little workout kit. And then we've got Astaroth, who has this sort of like amnesia, and I'm really excited to kind of see how this is going to play out. Claudia Cunnington knows she's rough around the edges and her hot temper can get the best of her, so when she stops a demon attack one night, she's horrified to realise the man she saved is none other than the cold-hearted Astaroth. Astaroth is a legendary member of the Demon High Council, or at least he was. Suffering from amnesia after being stripped of his immortality and banished to the mortal plane, Astaroth doesn't know why a demon named Moloch is after him, nor why the angry, hot, in a terrifying way witch hates him so much. Claudia grudgingly agrees to help Astaroth find the witch who might be able to restore his memory, vowing that once Astaroth is cured, she'll kick his ass. But the more time she spends with the snarky yet utterly charming demon, the more she realises she likes this new improved Astaroth, and maybe she doesn't want him to recover his memories after all. I don't really have anything else to say about this other than I'm so excited to get back into this world. I feel like Glimmer Falls is like the absolute perfect setting. I loved book 1 and I'm probably going to read this pretty nearly straight away. Then we have Signs of Cupidity. I feel like this is the start of quite a long series. It's not a particularly huge book. It's about 260 something pages, so it's not a massive book, but I'm really excited for this one. I loved the Plated Prisoner series also by Raven Kennedy, so I am pretty confident that I'm going to enjoy this. And of course, I had to go and pick it up literally straight away. I know nothing about this other than I really liked other things that Raven Kennedy wrote and I added to cart, and that was about as far as my thought process went. Even a cupid can be love-struck. For years, Amel has been a cupid, the ultimate matchmaker for others to fall in love, but the job means that she has no physical body and can't be seen by anyone or fall in love herself. Not ideal for a romantic. Unfortunately, she becomes responsible for some rather bad matchmaking, so much so she's punished and exiled from the human world. Finding herself among the Fae, she hopes things will be better in this new realm. They're not. Fed up, she angrily fires love arrows at a Fae prince, but he retaliates and suddenly she's pushed out of the veil. Now she has a real body, a real life, and she's ready for some matchmaking of her own. This time, she's going to find love for herself, but can this cupid find it? I am so here for this after reading the blurb. Like, this just sounds literally perfect. I feel like the first bit we're gonna probably get like very much like she's sad, she's angsty, she's like I just want my own moment, and then she's gonna get thrust into a real body and a real life and she's gonna be like, oh my god, wait. It's either gonna be like a oh my god, what have I done, or it's gonna be like a oh my god, finally. I can't wait. This is gonna be great. Moving on to something a little bit more chill, we have Welcome to Fae Cafe, and literally I added to cart based on the title alone. I was like, I need nothing else in my life. I'd literally just finished Bookshoppers and Bone Dust and Legends and Lattes, and I was like, I'm really into the cozy vibe. Yes, please and thank you. And this popped up, I think it was on like Amazon's recommended or something. 4 deadly Fae assassins come to the human realm to hunt down Kate Cole for breaking a fairy law. Leading them is Prince Cressica Albaston, the most feared and deadly Fae assassin of the North and heir to the North corner of Ever. But after the assassins arrive in the human realm, things go terribly wrong. To Prince Cressica's horror, his assassins unwittingly get roped into running a cozy cafe on Kate Cole's behalf. To blend in, the Fae assassins are forced to learn how to do basic human activities like cleaning up after themselves, driving without road rage, reading popular fantasy books at book club without getting into alpha male fights over what they're reading, and in general, be nice, or to blend into regular human society. With a temper like no other and deadly power that's unmatched, Prince Cressica seeks to get revenge on Kate Cole, but as he aims to strike where it will hurt her the most, the prince finds himself enchanted by his human target in more ways than one, and when the darkness of the Evercorners comes knocking at the human's realm's door, he needs to make a choice that could cost him everything. Everything about this screams read me now. The cover is beautiful, it's so simplistic, it is actually stunning. I don't even know what it is, but I'm like, I feel like this is going to be addictive. I feel like I'm going to have a giggle, I'm going to get the romance that I want. It's got magic, it's got fae, it's got different courts, it's got different worlds, and I'm like, yes, yes, yes. This is everything I need and everything I want, and I'm so excited for this, and I think this is going to be such a good time. And for our final stack of books, we have the romance books. Let's start with Bridgerton. I have finally managed to get hold of number 5. Number 4 is actually the plot of season 3 on the TV show, which is coming out this year. I am really excited to get back into the TV series. I've rewatched it, I cannot tell you how many times, but the TV series is actually the whole reason that I got involved with these books. I cannot wait to keep reading because book number 5 is Eloise, and Eloise was the first character that I actually fell in love with in the show. The second that she's on screen, she's loud, she's in control, she is a queen, and I'm like, yes. Thank you very much. You are everything that I need, and so I am so excited to get her story. I'm fully aware that it is going to be very different from the TV show. The books and the TV show in my mind are kind of two separate things. They are just inspired by each other, and we're just going to keep rolling with it that way, and that's how I'm quite happy to leave it in my little brain. Dear Miss Bridgerton, we have been corresponding now for quite some time, and although we have never formally met, I feel as if I know you. Forgive me if I am too bold, but I am writing to invite you here to visit me at Romney Hall. It is my hope that we might decide that we will suit and you will consent to be my wife. Did she think she was mad? Eloise Bridgerton couldn't marry a man she'd never met. But then she started thinking and wondering, and before she knew it, she was on her way to meet the man she hoped might be her perfect match. Except he wasn't. Her perfect husband wouldn't be so moody and ill-mannered, and while Philip was certainly handsome, he was rough and rugged, totally unlike the London gentleman vying for her hand. But when he kissed her, the rest of the world simply fell away. Could this imperfect man be perfect for her? I'm really excited because I feel like in the very early books, and you kind of see it in the sort of pre sort of prologue-y bit here where we've got a couple of quotes from Eloise over the years. She's been a debutante for a good few seasons. I mean, it literally says here during her 6th season, so that is quite a while that she has been out in society looking for a husband. But coming back to the TV show, she very much like doesn't want to find a husband. She's not really that interested. She kind of wants to pursue her own things, and I feel like even though they're kind of two different things, I do feel like that is quite an accurate representation of her character from what we've sort of seen of her in the other books. Is like she's very much kind of just like doing her own thing on the side. She's like, I'm gonna read my books, I'm gonna do my thing, I'm gonna have fun, I'm gonna live my own life. So I'm really excited to see how this turns out because I feel like we're going to get a huge load of character development from her. Next up we have The Catch, and this is book 3 in the Influencer series, and we've got Melanie, who is best friend to Tara and Crystal, I think. But Tara and Crystal are sisters, and then you've got Melanie, who's kind of like the best friend, the other influencer, the other social media girly. Melanie is a fashion girly. So it's really quite interesting that we've got like 3 different sides to social media. And what I really loved about the other two was whilst like, yes, the romance is a huge focus of the book, there's also a huge focus on their character development, how their social media kind of like affects their day-to-day life, how it affects the way that they think, the way that they act, etc, etc. So I'm really quite excited for this one because I feel like from what I remember reading ages ago, this kind of goes on quite a different tangent. In a last-ditch attempt to rescue her brand from the brink of irrelevance, fashion influencer Melanie Carlson finds herself in a rural fishing village on the east coast of Canada. The only thing scarier than nature itself, burly fisherman Evan Whaler, who single-handedly disproves the theories that Canadians are nice. After a boating incident lands Evan in the hospital, Mel is mistaken for his fiancée by his welcoming yet quirky family. And in exchange for Evan's help with her social media content, Mel agrees to fake their engagement for just 1 week. But reeling in their budding feelings for each other proves more difficult than expected. Is Mel willing to sacrifice her picture-perfect life in a city for her chance at true love in the wild? I am so excited. Again, this is another like fake dating kind of vibe, and I'm really here for that trope at the moment. I want more of it, and I'm also quite excited for the fact that this is kind of taking a very different route. Mel's brand is kind of going down the toilet a little bit. She's in a little bit of a rough spot, and that's kind of where we start the book, rather than with Tara and Crystal. They're just kind of like living their life, actively doing stuff. So I think this is going to be quite interesting, and it's going to be very interesting to see how the social media kind of changes everything. Next up we have Technically Yours, and can we guess what I'm about to say? I added to cart without even really knowing what this was about. I love the cover. I think this is really cute. The ones and zeros everywhere makes me feel like computers, coding, hacking, robots, all of that is going to be very much involved. It's giving women in STEM, it's giving Ali Hazelwood. I am really here for this. I want more of this. I've said it before, I will say it again. Give me more of that. Just because I don't have the brain power for it doesn't mean that I don't want to read about women who do have the brain power for it, okay? 8 years ago, he fell in love with a stranger he couldn't have. Now she's back. Cord fell for Pearl when they met in an elevator 8 years ago. She's just his type, smart, capable, funny, but when she broke his heart, he decided love wasn't for him. Pearl has learned the hard way to be careful in work and in love. She's passionate about her work at a non-profit, inspiring teenagers to code. So when scandal puts its reputation at risk, the last thing she wants is to complicate things further by falling for the new director, the one man she never stopped thinking about. Hesitant to trust her feelings and take a risk, it soon becomes impossible to ignore the electricity between the two of them, even if the sparks threaten to set her career on fire. I cannot wait to read this. This just, oh my god, this is great. I love the long pining. I love it when two characters have one of those meet cute moments, but then they're like, oh, it's been years and years and years and I've never stopped thinking about you, but I'm convinced that you never thought twice about me. And there's gonna be that little bit of miscommunication that's not really miscommunication, it's just kind of not wanting to admit that they never stopped thinking about the other person, and I'm like, give me that angst. I'm so excited. I need more of this. The last two books we have is Falling Hard for the Royal Guard and This Spells Love. So Falling Hard for the Royal Guard, this was one that I saw forever and a day ago over on TikTok, and from what I can remember, the author Megan actually lives in the Tower of London herself. Megan Clausen was born and raised in Boston, Lincolnshire. A Beefeater's daughter, her heart was ensnared by the City of London at a young age, and she moved to study English with film at King's College in 2018. Whilst there, she fell in love with her own royal guard. Now she still resides in the Tower of London alongside her little dog Ethel and works as an English tutor and TV and film extra alongside her writing. Falling Hard for the Royal Guard is her debut novel. I feel like this is going to be very much one of those kind of ones where the author has so much experience of certain nuances of things that it is just going to be so perfect, and I'm really, really excited for it. Honestly, there's a corgi. He got a little cute corgi bum. It's perfect for me because I'm in the UK. This is just a recipe for a really, really good time. Despite living in an actual castle, Happily Ever After is evading Margaret Maggie Moore. From her bedroom in the Tower of London, 26-year-old Maggie has always dreamed of her own fairy tale ending. Yet this is 21st century London, so instead of knights on white horses, she has catfish on Tinder. And with her last relationship ending in spectacular fashion, she swears off men for good. And then a chance encounter with Royal Guard Freddie forces Maggie to admit that she isn't ready to give up on love just yet. But how do you catch the attention of someone who's trained to ignore all distractions? Can she snare that true love's first kiss, or is she royally screwed? I am so, so excited for this. I feel like this is going to be one of those super cute, curl up in late at night, under blankets, with a cup of tea, and just have a great time. And lastly, we have This Spells Love, and I'm really, really excited for this. Generally, I'm not the world's biggest fan of best friends to lovers. It's not my favorite trope because I feel it's one that can very easily go wrong. I have high hopes for this because it's not just a best friends to lovers. There's a lot of things going on with this book, okay? Let me just read you the blurb. Have you ever had a breakup so bad you wish the whole relationship had never happened? Well, Gemma's wish has come true. After one too many margaritas lead to her mystical aunt reading out a drunken spell, she wakes up in a parallel world where she didn't give years of her life to the wrong man. But you know what they say, be careful what you wish for. Because not only is her boring ex out of the picture, but her extremely attractive male best friend also has no idea who she is. And in this world, Gemma and Dax don't have years of friendship history keeping them from becoming something more. And this is why I'm really, really excited about it, because she has all of these memories with him, and I just kind of don't really know where this is going to go, and I'm really excited because I feel like the fact that she knows him is just really going to fuel a lot of this angst and things, and because you're then taking away all of this history that they actually share, even though she kind of knows what goes on, he doesn't, and I feel like by taking that away, it's just going to go down such a different path for them, and I feel like it's going to be one of the cutest, scrunchiest little romances, and I'm so excited. Okay, so these are all the books that I have bought recently. I am so, so excited to get to start reading some of these. I guess there's nothing left to do but to read, really. If you've read any of these, let me know in the comments down below, or if you're excited to read any of these, let me know down in the comments below. Ping me a message over on Instagram, let's have a chat. All of my socials and my own book are in the description down below. While you're there, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!